When this video has been uploaded, the time should be the vacation of Spring Festival, also known as Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year. But before, do you think that both terms are not really precise? So, in today's video, let's talk about the Chinese New Year. First of all, why the Lunar New Year not a very precise term? If we want to know it clearly, we must then talk about it from the traditional Chinese calendar. The Chinese New Year actually is the New Year day in the traditional Chinese calendar. Thus, this is why the day of this New Year isn't the 1st January in our international calendar, also known as Gregorian calendar nowadays. When we mention the traditional Chinese calendar, there is another name of this calendar, and this is the lunar calendar, Yin Li in Chinese. So, with this name gradually getting popular everywhere, the Chinese New Year also gradually is called the Lunar New Year in spoken language, and almost everyone got used to using this term. But if we learn about the traditional Chinese calendar deeper, we will find that in fact, this is a calendar incorporating lunar calendars and solar calendars. Therefore, we got the more pressure calling, and we can call it the traditional Lunisolar Chinese calendar. In addition, in 1912, the Republic of China replaced the Qing dynasty of China. The new government of China declared the official calendar has moved to Gregorian calendar, but the traditional Chinese calendar wasn't abolished, so it made China have 2 New Year's Day. Therefore, in order to distinguish the International New Year's Day and the traditional Chinese New Year's Day, the International New Year was called Yuandan in Chinese, which means the first day of a new year, and the traditional Chinese New Year's Day was called Chunjie, also known as the Spring Festival. Second, is the name Chinese New Year also not a really precise term? Actually, this is a question about the region's culture and which regions are using the calendar that is similar to the Chinese calendar. Very clearly, the traditional Chinese calendar is used in the regions where the Chinese language is the native language. At the same time, the traditional Chinese calendar also had an impact on the Sinosphere in history, like the traditional calendars of Korea, Japan, Vietnam, local kingdom were affected by the traditional Chinese calendar in history. But these calendars that were used by the 4 countries were not the Chinese calendar, because during hundreds or even thousands of years, although the traditional calendars of different regions more or less were created based on the traditional Chinese calendar, they had their own localization development, even though the traditional calendars were very similar to the traditional Chinese calendar. So the similar calendars result in the New Year's Day of Sinosphere, also known as the Spring Festival, being on the same day from the ancient time to today in Korea and Vietnam. Here, the situation of local kingdom and Japan are a little bit different, because in the 19th century, in the time of Meiji Restoration, Japan decided to make the international Gregorian calendar replace the old traditional calendar. So now, Japan has only one New Year's Day, and it is the day of the 1st January every year in the Gregorian calendar. On the other hand, although the local kingdom became Okinawa after it was annexed into Japan in 1879, Okinawa didn't give up their traditional local calendar. So now Okinawa also has 2 New Year's Day that's similar to China, Korea, and Vietnam. Therefore, the traditional New Year is on the same day in China, Korea, Vietnam, and Okinawa. But the calendars actually are not the same. So the name Chinese New Year might have some limitations. When we stand in the international stage, rather than we call it the Chinese New Year, The traditional Sinosphere New Year or the traditional New Year of Sinosphere regions might be more precise. I believe you have found that I didn't say the traditional East Asian New Year, because East Asia is not a single culture area, and especially Vietnam is a part of a Sinosphere but isn't in East Asia. In East Asia, besides this kind of traditional Sinosphere calendars, there are other traditional calendars like Islamic calendar and Tibetan calendar. It's just like the name, and we also know that East Asia also has the Islamic region. This Islamic calendar is used there, so the people there also have Islamic New Year's Day. Then, the Tibetan calendar is used by the Tibetan people, but we need to notice another region, and this is Mongolia, because during hundreds of years, Tibetan Buddhism had a very impressive impact in Mongolia in history. The Tibetan culture also came to Mongolia. Therefore, Tibetan and Mongolian people also have a New Year's Day of the Tibetan calendar. So, this is today's video, and thank you for watching. Hope you can like this video. Have a good day, and Happy New Year. See you next time.